My name is Tony Monisse. Today I would like to talk about 4 areas businesses should focus on in terms of improving their cash flow and better managing their cash flow. So the 4 areas I want to talk about is the actual cash flow forecast. We'll talk about profit, which is the greatest source of cash flow. Thirdly, about capital, and fourthly, about finance. So maybe just turn to forecasting cash flow. So the most important thing all businesses need to do is actually forecast their cash flow. And what we're talking about there is a 13-week forecast, a rolling 13-week forecast that all businesses should do. And what becomes important out of that is what's the quantum or what's the gap that we're talking about if there is a shortfall in cash flow? And secondly, what are the levers that the business needs to focus on to improve its cash flow? So without having some sort of understanding of what those levers are, then it makes it very difficult to have that sort of discussion. The second thing that all businesses need to focus on is profit. One of the sure things about cash flow and generating cash flow is profit. 2 elements to profit. One is sales, the other is expenses. And then even when we look within sales, what are the opportunities to sell to new clients? So, how effective are our marketing plans? How effective is our sales process? And secondly, with existing customers, how hard are we working those relationships? Are there opportunities to increase the average sale, upsell, cross-sell, or even increase prices for certain customers? And all these items generate increased cash flow. The third thing is expenses. Having a critical review of all the expenses in the business. Are there discretionary expenses? Are there expenses that we should be putting out to some sort of competitive pricing or some competitive tendering? And thirdly, is there waste happening in the business? Have we got people? Are we spending money on activities that really aren't adding any value to the work that we do with our clients and the business that we're operating? So it's looking for all those opportunities to either increase sales or reduce waste. When we take the capital, the other source of cash flow is capital. So there's 2 elements to that. One is working capital and the other is plant and equipment. So if we look at working capital, it's how can we improve our debtor collection? Is there opportunities to reduce stock in our business? Can we look at opportunities to move on slow-moving or obsolete stock that are just tying up unnecessary cash? Can we look at our ordering processes with stock? Can we talk to our creditors? I've seen many examples where clients have been able to extend their payment terms with creditors just through having discussions with those creditors, moving those terms from 14 days to 30 or 30 days to 60 days. So it's engaging in those sorts of discussions. The other element of capital is plant and equipment. Often businesses make decisions to buy, but is there opportunities to lease or hire that equipment rather than buy that equipment because that ties up unnecessary capital? Or are there opportunities to divest? Possibly there's pieces of equipment that the business has been carrying that are no longer required, surplus to capacity. So how can we divest those? Again, another source of cash flow. The fourth aspect is to look at finance. Owner distributions. Monitor level owner distributions. Often owners don't realise how much they're taking out of the business. So like any part of the business, we need to budget for that. The business needs to budget for that and pay those owner distributions. ATO payments. Sometimes in difficult environments, it's about talking to the tax office about payments, about payment arrangements. Just a word of caution with that is that may impact on bank finance and your ability to raise further funds from the bank. So that needs to be approached with some caution. And the last thing is the debt. Is the business properly structured in terms of the debt? Is the amortization period too aggressive? Is the interest rate a reasonable rate? And secondly, is there security that the business isn't using that the business can tap into to broaden the source of cash flow? For example, there could be debtor finance opportunities or floor plan opportunities that the business currently hasn't examined. So I think, if the business works through forecasting and then focuses on how to improve profit, improve working capital management and look at finance options, then I think ticking those boxes will help a business better manage its cash flow.